What is going on, guys? Welcome to Double Tap. This is Mash Those Buttons podcast dedicated to the FGC. This is episode 374. And on this week's episode, we are on the verge of the new Street Fighter 6 season. Lady Soul's basically been announced for Granblue, and Multiversus is swinging for the fences. I am, of course, your host, Crash. No matter what my background, no matter where I'm at, I am talking fighting games. And with me, we got a very interesting treat for you guys this week. We've got, of course, the voice of reason on this show. We've got Ja in the building.
Happy to be here as always.
You can clearly hear it in his voice.
Absolutely.
But we're taking it back. We're taking it back to those OG listeners, those that have been around the block. Will know this name here. We are joined by the legendary Mikey Keylock. I actually don't know Mikey's last name, so I'm just gonna say Keylock is his last name.
You know, it's valid because I've been married and changed it since then. So.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Mikey, back to the fray.
Yo, what's up?
I'm so stoked to have you back.
Yeah,
I'm so stoked to have you back on.
It's nice to be allowed to be out of the hyperbolic time chamber every once in a while. You know.
For sure. So for those that are for those that are newer listeners, might not be aware, but Mikey actually was an OG host of the show. Has been around, was with us very early on in the project.
Very early.
Even though hasn't been on the show for quite some time, definitely is still FGC. Like Mike, we claim Mikey, we claim it. So there's no letting go of that. There's no letting go of that. So we're gonna have him on because unfortunately Meza won't be able to join us for this show. And then Static is like, I don't know, he's past Ohio or something at this point. He's on his way to Combo Breaker, so he's not going to be making it this week. But if you do see him at Combo Breaker, go say what's up to him. So shout out to Static for being the continued world warrior that he is. So once again, guys, this is a podcast dedicated to everything and anything in the fighting game community. We appreciate all our returning listeners for another 2 quarters and a credit this week. And for those that are new and stepping up to the cab for the first time, we appreciate y'all being here. Chapters are available on YouTube, Spotify, and any platform that supports podcasting 2.0. So you can check out all the little specific details, all the specific subject matters that we're getting into on this week's episode right there. All right, so before we actually start the show, some things have changed, Mikey. Before we start the show, we go and look backwards to the previous episode. We've got some polls and questions of the week to get into. So last week, we asked you guys on the poll, what was your first in-person event? We asked you guys if it was a local, it was a major, could have been Evo, that some people actually did submit saying Evo was their first event, or other, right? We've got a astounding 70% for local, which, you know, makes sense. You kind of get started in FGC Faj in either your house, someone else's house,
or someone
school,
or some college person's dorm, like
exactly, some college person's dorm somewhere, and that's it. And then if you don't get that, usually, you know, you maybe go to like the biggest event that's in your area. Maybe if you're in Florida, it's CEO. If you're in the Northeast, maybe a Big E tournament or something like that. You just go there.
Yeah.
That came in at 22%. Actually.
Wow,
So,
I wonder how many people went to Texas Showdown or like something like that. Is like their
dude.
Like,
that'd be a trip.
Yeah,
it's like really hard to get in places in Texas. It's so damn big, right?
It's true. Yeah, there's space. It's definitely hard to get to the spaced out stuff.
There you go. So yeah, we appreciate y'all for interacting with that and letting us know. So actually, we've got some questions of the week as well, because we actually asked, where was your first local? So actually, we kind of well into those details there. So we got some answers over from Spotify, some good ones. We got Bacon It Rain saying, my computer teacher brought it up to my class. So there you go, Mikey, right there.
That's
I don't know if it was high school, but their computer teacher brought FGC to them.
That reminds me of that Reddit post that used to talk about the teacher who would bring Guilty Gear to their class, and like they were like posting about how students were playing Guilty Gear. So yeah, anyways.
Shout outs to Mr. Fu. He's actually a local player from Philadelphia who actually is a teacher now. Like we grew up with him playing for like over a decade. He's competitive and everything. That's actually footage of me and him playing Injustice in bar battles out in the internet. So you guys go check that out. But he's a teacher, and he's actually posted up how he's actually brought like setups and laptops to show kids the games, and then they're trying to play him, and then he's like, oh, it's like, you failed the test, now you're about to fail this too. Yeah, he kind of he flexes on these kids pretty hard. But no, it was shout outs to Fu, because he's kind of bringing in a new generation of players to come out, which is really, really awesome. Formal Ghoul also posted up saying, the only one I found in my city is a video game bar that will hold tournaments for different games and themed events. We talked about, you know, going to like a pizza joint, or like someone that's like organizing something in small little restaurants or little mom and pop shops or something like that. perfect example of it happening. Just maybe a little bit more, you know, not for the older crowd since it's a bar and all that. But hey, I'll take a sweet like cocktail after a salty loss any day. So I'm not even stressing that. Over on our Discord, we had a really a pretty big reply actually. This is from Electrico, stating this is an OG story, stating he doesn't know if it considers it a local nowadays, but the most fun he ever had, he was hosting FGC weeklies at his apartment from like 2007 to 2010. It started as an anime watch party for Bleach, you know, when Bleach was like the hotness. He would allegedly torrent the episodes from Japan, and then they would then boot up MAME and start like playing like afterwards. So it kind of started evolving from just being a watch party spot to being a place where they started getting Third Strike, they started getting Garu on there, a bunch of crowd favorites, and as well as Street Fighter 4 when that dropped in 08. So like they just got hit with it. It went from like 5 to like, it says 15 folks every week, including himself and a couple other guys as well joining in. So like that's a beautiful story. Like you can't make it any more grassroots than that, where it's just a bunch of homies and then it builds up into something way bigger.
Just listening to that, like the kids these days don't know how good they got it.
They don't know how hard. They just boot up online and then they just go.
Online is so good. Roll back too good.
They don't know how hard. They don't know how hard we had to work to get these things. You know, they'll never know about the floating deer. You know what I'm saying? They'll never know about that.
They don't know how much. Do you imagine the generation now who's dealing with online that just isn't a problem anymore? And back in the day, we were dealing with like delayed based hellscape where everything was just like unplayable.
Oh my goodness!
You would probably meet people. I actually know for a fact there are competitors I've known that became friends. They literally played each other down the street from each other online, and it was garbage. And they would meet up. They would find themselves at meetups instead.
Nice.
That's how bad the netcode was.
I mean, yeah, that's good. God, Calamity Trigger netcode. Anyways,
I was gonna say it was on Blaze Blue. It was Blaze Blue. It was fucking Blaze Blue, bro. It was Blaze Blue too. Oh my God! Shout outs to Chan. Shout outs to Chan and Cloud. Those two guys. That's how they ended up meeting. But yo, Electrico, thank you very much, and thank you everyone else for submitting your awesome answers. There was plenty more that were thrown in. You know, we can't put everybody in here. We do appreciate y'all posting up. We'll love to hear from you guys on the following question of the week when we talk about it in this episode. If you want to get involved, make sure to just follow us on Twitter at DoubleTapFGC, and also make sure to join our Discord and get involved there at doubletap.gg/Discord. Come say what's up to our awesome community there, and come get involved on these questions of the weeks and, you know, the polls and such. All right. We'll be posting up, like I said, a new one this episode. But with that, we actually get to start the show, Mikey. We're actually now starting the show. I'm going to keep calling Mikey out because I'm so excited to have Mikey on here.
Things have changed so much. Y'all are like a well-oiled machine now. Y'all got like a docket here. Y'all have moved to video. I'm stuck in analog. I thought we were like still in analog days. Like, what is going on?
Mikey, side tangent, Mikey did go on and ask, like, yo, do you guys just like still say things off the top of your heads? I was like, no, not anymore. Back in the day, we used to actually do a whole month's worth of news in like 2-3 hours and be like, what happened this month? What do we do? And then have like that hour before the show.
If you really go digging through the archives, you can find some pretty...
You'll find some gold. You'll find some gold.
I don't know if it's gold.
Oh, it's gold, baby. It's gold. It's definitely gold. All right, so it's just as gold as what we're about to talk about right now, which is Street Fighter 6, man. We've got a new patch coming up this week, right in line with Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is this week, and we actually did get a confirmation on Twitter from them. They tweeted out. The polls are in there too. 81% of the people that they've asked and sent out emails to, all the competitors, everyone involved, they want Akuma to go live. So Goki, yeah, check me out. I'm so multicultural. Goki is gonna be live for competition in Combo Breaker, which is gonna be fucking mayhem, along with all the balance changes that are coming up for all the characters in the actual roster. So 81%. I think when we ran our poll, we were like 82%.
It was
we
like
asked
87%.
Our listeners.
It was like
87%.
Close
People
enough.
want the chaos.
Close enough.
Take a big enough tournament where there's gonna be high profile players and then you just fucking throw a left, a curveball like, hey, by the way, new patch, new character.
I'm for it. I love the chaos. Adapt.
That bracket is going to be like, throw it out the window. If you had bets, if you thought you knew, Start GG, like what they assumed who was gonna win is out the window.
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting to watch.
Yeah,
absolutely. So speaking of some of the actual changes that we had, we did have Capcom post up a battle balance update, but we're not looking at that video. Well, we're looking at that video, but we're looking at really High Fight's video. Shout out to High Fight for really giving us kind of a breakdown on what the changes were, because like, I mean, I play Street Fighter 6, but I haven't been like really hardcore in it like for a while. So it's kind of difficult for me to see like, well, what did change from Chun-Li or from Lily, especially characters I don't even play. So like, I couldn't tell you what they did beforehand. What makes you think I'm gonna know afterwards? Right.
Like I could tell like what changed with my characters, but like I had no idea what was changing with anybody else in that video. I was like, yeah, sure, cool.
wait, Mike, who do you play in 6?
I play Ryu and Honda, and I dabble with some Geef.
All right, guys, Mikey has to leave the show. I appreciate you hanging out with us. You've been great, Mikey. See you later. Bye. Honda.
That's like my secondary. Like that's my secondary, and then like my main's Ryu, because Ryu's just, they made Ryu fucking stylish in this game. I fucking love Ryu.
Ryu's looking actually really good, as a matter of fact. You know, the Denjin stock now, you have control over when you want to let that rock versus like, you know, for those that don't know, when you actually stock a Denjin charge with Ryu, the next projectile, next fireball he throws will always be that Denjin charged up version. One of the big changes coming up is that now you get to choose when to let that go, because you took the time to, you know, maybe you let some damage on the table, but then you decided to actually stock up for the next approach or the next, you know, kind of attack that you're trying to go to. It kind of sucks that you'd have to then cash out for any reason just from like regular zoning. So that kind of nullifies the effort you're trying to put there, right? But there's some other changes. There's some other changes that are gonna be coming through for them as well, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But they're just giving us just a taste. A taste.
And you'll notice a pattern. There is one thing I did notice in this video, is you'll notice a pattern with people's not custom combo. What is the combo term?
Target combos.
Target combos. You'll notice a pattern with the target combos.
Yes, they're going the route of like Street Fighter 4, where there was like I think it was in between 4 and Super, where they were kind of attacking the target combos a bit more to kind of be a little bit more flexible. One example here for 6 is Cammy's, right? Cammy now actually being able to cancel out of her target combo, meaning any move that you can cancel from, you should be able to drive rush from now. So now we have, for one, a cancelable target combo, but then now we also have new combo routes that could potentially be introduced into Drive Rush now, which we do see an example for.
Yep.
So we have a bunch of character specific changes. Like I said, only just a taste right now. We're gonna see the full patch notes when they drop it, which I'm gonna presume that's gonna be tomorrow, because otherwise they're really just gonna let these combo breaker guys just be like, deal with it. Good luck. It's minus what? Excuse me? Find out the old school way. We did end up with some additional system changes too. That's actually kind of like the big changes coming up, like wake up drive reversal.
Big
is
change.
Now a thing.
Big change.
Big change. Important. You know. So drive reversal traditionally now, you know, the way you deal with it is, or the way you activate it is, you have to be in block stun and you have to press forward and the triple punches to actually create the drive reversal. This is a pretty offensive heavy game, right? Like there's no secrets about it. Everyone's been pretty vocal about that. So some characters that don't have invo DPs, you know, a good way to deal with wake up, drive reversal is supposed to be that, but you can't really do it unless you are committed to being blocked on, right? So now you're still susceptible to things like meaty grabs and all. Drive reversal is a way now in wake up to give a defensive option to everyone universally to get up, which is great, because now those meaty options that are basically almost guaranteed, practically guaranteed, now you have something to fight against for, right? Without having to commit to a block. Because sometimes blocking, some people might say if you're blocking, you're losing. Some cases that's kind of true.
Kind of, yeah. In this game, blocking is rough, especially, but like with I don't know, this game has like crazy defensive mechanics, so it's hard to tell. Like with parry anything's possible. So
Yeah, actually, and parry's another one too. Parry's getting affected now, so we're actually seeing a change in both the active frames, basically how long parry is active to actually get a move hit with for it to parry. It went from 8 active frames before to now 12 in this Akuma patch. And then the recovery being 29 previously to 33. So we're talking now a change of 8 frames overall. So now you went from 37 frames for like even a tap parry, like, you know, you just tap and parry like really quickly. You're going from 37 frames to 45. There are both some good things and some bad things with that. Good things are like, hey, if you're dealing with projectile heavy characters like your Guiles, or even Ryu's, right? You're changing the speed of fireballs, right? People are training themselves to be like perfect parry a fireball, a slow fireball versus a high. And you as a Ryu player, Mikey, you could definitely tell that you could change the tempo up to kind of throw your opponent off, right? Yeah. So that way maybe they don't get a perfect parry on a projectile because it allows them to act immediately. Well, now because the active frames are different, that timing kind of changes where they might, you know, previously maybe they blocked the projectile. Now they actually maybe can get the additional parry. So it's like a really good defensive, it's a better defensive option when it comes to like those tempo change fireballs. But on the other side, more recovery means like you whiff this, oh brother, you are gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. Even just tap.
Yeah, tap. Like this seems to be definitely a response to people who have been tapping parry in the middle of block strings. Like if you start blocking and then you just like while blocking, it's like, okay, they're gonna press this button next. Let me try to parry or whatever. Like if you try to like tap parry in between block strings and they just don't do anything, you're about to eat something not good.
Yeah, some damage for real. You're gonna feel this. But yeah, so characters like Guile, you know, Ryu, JP's got some shenanigans before when it came to parry to kind of whiff it with like his projectile kind of feinting it. Now that changes. So this is really going that change is going to shake up things for like for everything combo breaker related. So we might see a kind of potentially even some secondary picks or just some. I think we're just gonna see some weird interactions happen just due to just how the matchups are gonna shift due to this frame change. It seems like it's a little thing, but it's gonna be a big impact.
That's what I'm expecting, is a lot of matchup. Also, I imagine some matchup changes will happen too, because characters that didn't have a like going back to like the drive reversal change, like just because this is like they're changing the littlest things with the system mechanics can like just change so much of how like matchup charts could work. Because now you've got to worry about like Geefs can now just wake up drive reversal. You don't get to just like style on them.
Maul them. Just maul them all day. No longer that. So you have to be wary of it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think that's what we're trying to say is it's gonna be fun to watch. I can't wait. I'm glad I didn't go. Yeah, I love the combo breaker. Yeah, but I was like, as soon as I saw that patch change, I was like, you couldn't pay me to go right now. I'm not about to walk into dark jungles without night vision or something, bro. Are you nuts?
I really thought about going this year, and now I'm like, hell. All right, I'm glad I'm a spectator. I'm just glad I'm spectating.
I will gladly eat my tomato pie, my bread bowl. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm calling Chicago pizza, because that's all it is. It's just really a bread bowl with tomato sauce in it. At home, and I'll save my frustrations for that. All right, so the balance patch is coming out. We're gonna have a full patch notes hopefully by tomorrow. Capcom, please, and we'll break it down obviously from Combo Breaker when Static gets back. But we're gonna be taking a quick break, guys. We do have a couple little extra gifts that Capcom decided to drop on us. We're gonna get into some costumes. We're gonna talk about some music, but we'll do that after this break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. Combo Breaker is kind of just over the horizon. We're getting closer to it and the madness that the new balance patch is going to bring. But Capcom decided to give us a little gift in the meantime, though. So the DLC characters, obviously with Akuma being out, is going to be the last of Season 1. And they decided to give all the characters some drip in the meantime to kind of help you at least steeze a little bit when you're going out, at the very least, the Combo Breaker this week. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick reaction, or kind of get the thumbs up, thumbs down on what we like. Who think actually does have the drip and who just needs to get dropped. Let's go with Rashid. Mikey, what do we think of Rashid? Do you like tennis balls?
I think one of the alt colors will save this outfit, but like it's like the lime green. Yeah, base ain't doing it for me, man. Like one of the alt colors might make it pop, but I'm not vibing with this one. Like I'm
you got more faith in it than I do.
This might be color 10 default. Yeah. Color 10 default might be the move. Yeah. He might be onto something.
The problem is you made Rashid's base model too freaking good already.
Like, you know what it looks like? Now that I'm really thinking about it, you know, back in the 90s, how they used to have those Velcro walls people used to jump on?
Yes.
It looks like the Velcro wall suits.
The suits that you wear to jump on. Oh, shit.
That's what it looks like. It looks like one of them Velcro suits.
He has the jump zone special. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I'm not going to not see it now.
That's what it looks like. I'm sorry. No, I just ruined it for the double tap audience. Like, don't look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about.
So when he tries to jump off the wall now, does he just get stuck on that costume? Like he just can't jump off the wall?
Waiting for the mod to make Velcro like shearing sound when he jumps off the wall now. Someone will mod it. If not, I'll commission someone to do it. All right, let's go with Ed. Surprisingly, I think people are accepting this one.
It blows my mind that all you had to do to fix Ed from Street Fighter V was literally just cover the whole outfit up with a leather jacket. If we just cover it up with a jacket, guys, it looks great. Like
they said, how can we fix this? I got it. Let's just hide it. Put some black on it. It'll look good.
It looks great. Like it's weird that that's all it took. Like it just took one thing.
That, and honestly, also like really the style of obviously 6 versus 5 and how vibrant 5 was. Like it really, his costume in 5 just like really popped out. I'm like, bro, that is like really blue. Like that is hella blue.
Well, and
there's blue. Then there's just like there's like a Smurf teal going on here. I'm not feeling it. This is a little bit muted, right? The color, the blue's a little desaturated a bit, and then obviously, the gold and black on the trench coat. Yeah, can't really go wrong.
Yeah, and the fact that his hair doesn't look like like something out of Play-Doh helps.
Yeah. So he's been redeemed. He's been redeemed. I think Edward has been redeemed here. Mm-hmm. There's another one. This one actually threw me through a loop. Aki. I thought I had to look at it like multiple times because at first when I saw just the clip, or rather just I think it was the design JPEG that they put up or whatever, the image they put up, I was like, oh damn, man, and she keeps getting some dope ass costumes. Like she's so fashionable. Then I had to like really look at it. Like, oh fuck, that's not man, and that's fucking Aki. Like the glasses and everything like threw me off. So I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't expect her to wear this. But then when I saw, I think they commented on it saying like this was designed to be like if she was out and about with Fong in an actual mission, this is what she would rock to kind of coincide with his style.
Wow, really? That's interesting.
Yeah,
because like
this like it makes sense.
This is like this. I don't play this character, and I'm about to buy this outfit, and I'm about to slap because like you can make if you have a character custom, you can every time you fight a character, you can force the opponent to look like an outfit that you choose or whatever. I'm about to just do that with this outfit all the time. Whenever I have to fight an Aki, I'm like about to just be like, I don't care. I'm looking at this every time because looks good. This outfit is fire. It is the best outfit in the pack for me. Like this is good.
I can get behind that. Yeah. I think it is the winner. Which sad. Well, I want to say sadly. All right. I honestly want to hear what Mike thinks. All right, Akuma.
The problem is he made his default so freaking good that like this just doesn't even look good.
Damn.
Like
this is why we're friends. This is why we're friends.
I know Josh smiling. I'm like, yep, exactly.
This is exactly what I talked to Crash about before. I was like, the problem is that the original skin looks too good, and now they're gonna have trouble making better skins for him.
It's true. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is fine. Like, it's fine. Like, the mask is okay. I like that the necklace has, the orbs are bigger. Yeah. But it's just, there's still no reason for me not to rock default.
You're not gonna go on stage, stream setup, and be like, oh, character select, and go this costume.
Yeah, no.
Like that's how I gauge it. I'm like, would I go if I'm about to go up and play on stream? Doesn't matter the match. It could be round 1, it could be grand finals. am I going to go up and pick this costume?
Nah.
Would I pick this costume? If I'm like, nah, then I know it's not good. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I would not pick it. I agree.
That's how I gauge.
Yep.
Which is crazy because Akuma's always had like some ill ass costumes, right? Like he's always had a history of some pretty damn good costumes.
Yeah.
So for them coming out with this, I'm kind of like, you kind of did a pretty good job in just coming out. You didn't really have to do anything. I was fine with just classic. I was like, give me classic and that. I'm cool. I think that checks all the boxes.
Yeah, I mean, classic Akuma still looks good too. It's just the problem. I agree with y'all though that like it's gonna be hard to make outfits for Akuma that are gonna be as cool as his base design, because like it's just they nailed it this time with his base design. So
yeah. So to add to that, not just the outfits, we actually did get something hot off the press earlier today. We've got some new when you're playing ranked, you're in the battle hub and you're waiting to get linked up with someone, you've got here comes the new challenger like artwork.
Yeah.
You got new splash screens coming up, which is dope. These are definitely much more comical. They got more life to them than the other ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, the other ones were dope. The very simplified like character versions. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, but bro, we like to see some little extra for my eyes. My eyes need to be pleased a little bit. These are good.
Yeah.
I like what they've done with these.
I think some of them, there are ones that are better than others. There are some I'm wondering how they got through Capcom's approval board on how some of them came out. But I know you're rocking the Honda one. I know the Honda one. You're like that one's. I mean, it's pretty on point. Just headbutt people.
Yeah.
But
sums up his entire gameplay.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Well, not anymore after this patch, probably. But anyways.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We'll revisit. We'll get a follow up from Mikey after.
We'll see.
Honda.
But yeah, no, a lot of them are good. I really like the jury one. The jury one's really solid. But yeah, the
JP one's made of nightmare fuel.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I think Chun-Li's is pretty cute. I think Cammy's is pretty cute. Yeah, no, they've got some good ones, like some good ones in there. I'm not gonna say they're all stars, and then there are some of them I'm like, how did this get through? I don't understand.
I'm scared.
All right. Should be.
So besides the new Challenger graphics, we got something that people have been clamoring for. Myself included, because Street Fighter, like many other awesome fighting games that have been around for a while, have had, many entries. And with those many entries comes also some banger tracks over the years that are in many people's playlists, including our own. Our Double Tap playlist that we have on Spotify has many tracks from multiple different Street Fighter games. Capcom listened and added basically the Jukebox feature, aka the background. They just call it background music settings. I'm like, fine, could just call it Jukebox. You know what it is. At least be cool. And you can pick from a slew of different just known themes, right? It starts off with Guile. I didn't know how much I wanted this again until I heard Cammy's stage from Super Street Fighter 2. I was like, oh, yeah, the London stage, that's right. And then I kind of felt even better when I heard Rashid's Street Fighter 5 one. I was like, oh, yes.
Yes.
I forgot I needed this in my life again.
Yeah.
Rashid's in the game. Yeah. And he needs to have this.
Yeah, he needs.
It's a buff.
That Street Fighter 5 theme is just too good for him. Like if it's not playing and he's on the screen, it's like, what's happening?
It gets the crowd going. Like the crowd will sing to this shit. That's how good. That's how you know it's a good song. I think it's got to be a rule or a law moving forward that like if Rashid's in the game, like this track has to be in.
Right.
Like it has to.
I mean, it's the same thing with Guile's theme. You can't have how do you not have Guile's theme? Like
True. So this is now bringing to Street Fighter what other players in other games like myself in Guilty Gear are the music meta. We're talking mind games before we even start the match. For those that are unaware, uninitiated, right? Usually it's on the one player side that gets to have access to things like, in some games, not all of them, like things like stage. Some games do random afterwards, right? Like your Injustices, Tekken and such. And not in other games, like in Guilty Gear, you actually get to pick the stage and you get to pick the song. You could be cool and just be like, oh, let me just pick a good track. You could be neutral. Be like, this is agreed. This is a good track? Good track? All right, cool. Or you could be a dickhead and be like, I want to pick the most annoying track possible. Because chances are your opponent probably has headsets on to the same fucking amplifier that's going to that game anyway. And now they have to listen to fucking May's theme or something like that the entire way. already trying to throw your opponent off. Street Fighter is now in the music meta, and I can't wait to hear what's the consensus on what tracks are going to be considered.
I love
and what are the bangers.
Yeah, I love blasting "I Saw the Sign" or whatever the Bedman's theme just to annoy. God. But also, this does put more in line in what Tekken recently just released with their Tekken 8. Like Tekken is like right now like. This is what's now expected from me, because like being able to pick the theme for every stage has just been, and I can like go through the history of Tekken and be like,
yeah, exactly.
Tekken Revolution goes here, Tekken Tag goes here, Tekken 3 goes here. Like it's so.
Do we have? Let me know, because I actually don't know all the tracks. Do we have Dark Resurrection, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection ending credits?
I don't know I don't know about the specific song, but I do know the Dark Resurrection soundtrack is selectable. So.
Ooh, for my real ones, you know what Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection ending credits is about. If you were in those Newground days, you know exactly what video I'm talking about here. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna see who the real ones are. Yeah. Maybe they might post it up on Discord.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, actually, that's gonna do it for Street Fighter. Like I said, all we have left to look for now is this combo breaker this week to get our taste in the balance patch. And Akuma, obviously, when he comes out the day before, it all kind of goes nuts. But Street Fighter 6 kind of capping out the year one. Kind of makes me want to go back and listen to our first impressions of the game last year and see what we think about from the beginning to the end. Something we're gonna have to talk about, Ja, after this. And yeah, so with that, we're gonna be taking a quick break, guys, because we're gonna be jumping into Multiversus. Also equally excited to check out All Eyes Are On It. It's coming back. We said just 1 year of Street Fighter. Well, guess what? It's been 1 year since Multiversus, and it's right around the corner from coming back and going live. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about all the good news, all the stuff that's coming out, all the things that we're hoping gets fixed, and hopefully things they've addressed. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Street Fighter 6 once again coming out this week with the new patch, but let's look forward into some Multiversus game. I have a lot of eyes on. I have my eyes on, my glasses on, but a lot of people have their eyes on as well. It's been a year already, man. It feels like just yesterday we were already covering the story, playing the game, then covering the story that it was going into into hibernation to kind of fix some issues. But for those that didn't get a chance to maybe play Multiversus, which is gonna be kind of hard to believe, they were doing numbers, right? They were rocking out pretty hard when it was out. Mikey, did you get a chance to play?
I played it. I didn't hate what I was playing either. Like I was pretty okay with it for the most part. Like I didn't really. It was a fun side game for me. I was like kind of like chilling with friends playing it. Like it was fine.
Exactly. I think it was doing what it needed to do, but then slowly there were just cracks in it that then kind of became canyons after a while. So for those that don't know, Multiversus is a platform-based fighting game. Whatever, I don't give a shit. It's a fighting game. I know some people call it party game. It's a fighting game.
Are we still having this debate in 2024? Like, are we still having the platform?
It's never going on.
Platform fighters aren't fighing games debate is still happening.
I know you've been gone, dog. I know you've been gone, dog. We have unified. We don't care. We don't give a shit. This is neutral ground. If you're doing combos, you got matchups, you got plink dashing, you got wave dashing. You're playing a fighting game. It's just way bigger of a stage. That's all it is. I don't care. Let it be known. Double Tap does not give a shit. We accept all of you. Anyway, so it came out the gate doing very, very well. Once again, it's based off of all the WP franchises and IPs that they own. DC. You got Looney Tunes, you've got, even now, as we're seeing in some of the hints that are going around, we've got Cartoon Network IPs in there because Cartoon Network is owned by WB and stuff. So we're seeing things like Powerpuff Girls getting referenced, Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, as well as other IPs in the movie industry, right? So it came out with a really diverse cast. The game came out strong. It looked good as an early access, which first off is the first problem there. I'm just gonna let Ja give us the definition. Early access, what does that actually mean for us, Ja? Just so that way everyone gets a baseline for it.
Okay, let me say something here real quick about the early access, okay? technically speaking, I feel like out of all these titles that are saying early access from major publishers, Multiversus was actually early access. Like that, it operated like a game that was actually in early access. But I think because other games that said they weren't early access, cough, Overwatch 2, cough, that weren't actually in early access, being full games, it kind of gave people this, like, and that Overwatch 2 is just one example, but like, you know, it gave a lot of people this expectation that it should be a live, ready to go live service game, and it really wasn't. I think that is also part of the problem, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, but it did actually operate like an early access game, and essentially just early access game means like they are developing while you are playing it, and the money that you are putting into it is helping with the development live. That essentially what that means. So
right,
they're building the plane while you're flying it, kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that I think people like, maybe one of the big confusing pieces is because there was a battle pass like in the early access game that was kind of like weird a little bit, but like it kind of made sense because the money that they made from the battle pass was going back into developing the game, but then they were also developing things for the battle pass, so it was weird. It was just this weird situation.
And expensive as all hell.
Yes.
To put in perspective, it's $255 is what it cost you to get everything that they had released up to the point of them going down last year, with included $20 skins. Like the memes online were great, where you got to see, like, you would see Black Lantern Superman, animated series Batman, Black Lantern Wonder Woman, or Elden Ring, because they cost the same. like that's like how the comparisons. I was like, ooh, damn, like, yeah, that's kind of tough. That's kind of rough. But you know, that this is a free to play game, right? There needs to be a monetization access to it, right, or a method to it to actually make money from it, right? Like, yes, being active is gonna come with the territory of it being free, because there is no initial investment to play into it, which is great because you get people to play it. But then on the other side, it's like, gotta make money. These servers are not gonna pay for themselves, right? So they need to. It's just their battle pass was like, Mikey says weird, I say it was bad. It was just a really bad battle pass, because it was, for one, very grindy. I don't mind a battle pass as long as it's within like a good amount of achievability. I don't want, like, it literally got to the point where one battle pass, if you missed a week, you know, shit happens. People got jobs, people got families, you got vacation. Maybe you're also traveling for tournaments and you're just not grinding. You miss a week or a couple of days, you literally can't even make back that battle pass at that point. Like, I'm like, I don't want to have to try to grind. It shouldn't be an incentive. My incentive should not be to grind. I should just get it as an incentive as I play the game naturally through having fun, is what should be happening here, which was not the case.
Well, I think that the battle pass was kind of in line with what industry would consider best practices, right? And because there's a ton of battle passes that were like that.
Yeah.
That were because the thing about battle passes is that it's not only to make money, it's to drive engagement as well, especially for multiplayer games, because they want you playing so that, you know, other people have, you know, are able to play. But like I said, it was kind of, and don't get me wrong, I don't think it was a good idea either. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying it was in line with what other companies were doing at the time. And I think it's important that people speak with their wallets, which they have, which is why the whole entire live service scene is changing right now. I mean, if you want to look at one great example, Helldivers 2, you know, is changing how live service is working. And not every game can follow that model exactly, but you have several games that are live service or were live service that are switching to okay, well, instead of being live service, all new purchases are going to cost X amount, and then we might deliver additional content some other way. Gigantic just came out again, because that was a live service game that failed.
Oh my God, did it? Yeah. I thought I saw something about that. I was like, I really was like, yo, what year is this right now?
Yeah. They re-released it, and they just pay for it now. So there's a lot of games who are doing that. And then I hope more games do like the war bond model that Helldivers 2 has, because it eliminates everything that you just said, right? Because once you have a war bond, you have it forever. It never expires. You don't have to do it in a certain amount of time.
Just no pressure.
Exactly.
You gotta play. I have to log in and do my dailies.
It doesn't become a job.
8 o'clock. There was mad traffic. Yep. I just got done work. Girlfriend's yelling at me. Now I have to try to unwind, but I have to unwind by trying to be grinding. But that was also, so one of the reasons that kind of caused this to also just leave a bad taste in people's mouths is just the game's modes, or rather the lack of any other content other than I need to go online and I need to play you, Jack, or I need to play you, Mike, or I need to play somebody so I can get my points. There was no other method of actually trying to grind. Like, yes, oh, it's a fighter. I'm like, yes, but I don't, people don't want to always jump on and just play another person. Maybe they just want to play a bot or a PvE mode, which we'll talk about things that they're addressing, which luckily one of those is that. But compound that with then the grindiness, can see why people are just like, I'm not feeling it. I don't really care. And also some of those rewards were kind of like, like really, like the Iron Giant costume for Halloween, or the dog. I can't remember the fucking dog's name, and it's an original character for this game. I'm like, I don't even play those characters. These are kind of like whack. Like, I see no purpose, right? So it's kind of tough. But that's like really a decision as to like what the content of the battle pass is, right?
Right. Yeah.
So besides the grindiness, right? The battle pass, the monetization, it's a like you said earlier, John. This is a live service game, right? This is a live service model they're going after. And what do live services need to keep going? Content. Updates, fucking news, something. They came out the gate well in season 1, right? We ended up with let me think of all the characters. Well, we got LeBron. I remember that one because that's why one of the reasons why we peaked at 150 something thousand, because when he dropped, man, Space Jam 2 was out. It's LeBron. I think his kid was playing it, so that was getting people to come on. But we ended up with, I believe it was 4 characters on season 1. Season 2 rolls around. We got 4 characters in season 1, a couple of stages, and some cosmetics. Cool. Season 2 rolls around. Marvin the Martian. I think it was a maximum of 2 stages, some cosmetics, then nothing.
Yeah.
And nothing. And that was like November or October. Remember, this game didn't drop or get pulled out till like June. So there was like nothing going on for almost 6-7 months in a live service game. Is kind of like you might as well just, you're just not admitting defeat, but you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot, like, because you couldn't have, like, your shins could have shot up to the moon how hard of a misstep that was. That's how wild that is.
I think they clearly didn't think they were gonna. I don't know if they realized they were gonna be as popular as they were. Like, I don't think they didn't expect.
They wanted to, but right. I don't think they expected that. Yeah,
and then they got hit with everyone started to complain about things, but they couldn't change it until they probably changed the engine and a whole bunch of other things that they're doing for this new release. So that's probably why. That's what I'm imagining. I mean, I could be talking on my ass, which because I don't know. So
I think also it's just, I think they just put too much out there too quickly. Like, I would have been fine if season 1 had maybe 3 characters. You could have taken those extra 1 or 2 and added that, kind of pulled it, make your timelines a little bit bigger. But once again, early access, the popularity that struck it, like, sure, did they want to like shoot for the moon? They're probably like, yeah, we're gonna go to the moon, and then they're actually at the moon. They're like, oh fuck, like, we actually made it. I felt like a little bit was that.
Yeah, I agree. They could have spaced out like Black Adam and the gremlin from Gremlins. I can't remember the gremlin's name. They could have spaced that stuff out a lot more and stuff like that. They probably rushed Black Adam though because of the movie. But
there's clearly marketing behind it, which I mean, hey, it makes sense, right? If it's gonna drive attention, go for it. They literally have a Rock. The Rock is in the game with a Black Adam outfit from the movie, so it's like, they clearly planned that, but. So add to that as well. Like, we're compounding this kind of shit sandwich, unfortunately, right now. But trust me, it's gonna get down way easier once we tell you what they're fixing. Is like just fundamental fighting game problems. Hitboxes. Like, I haven't seen hitboxes this bad in quite some time. When I saw like actually how the hitboxes were occurring, because I was like, I don't know about you, Mikey, but there were times in the game, even I was kind of like, that was a very weird interaction, or like, how did that hit? Or even if you go to Reddit and just watch the videos of like bugs up, it's called up smash or up air is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's like that shouldn't have hit. I'm way over here. Why did that hit me? their hitboxes were atrociously bad.
And I think the problem with that begets is if this was just advertised as like a casual fun game, but the fact that they were holding tournaments.
Evo had a tournament for this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all were pushing competitive 2v2.
Exactly.
If you're pushing competitive, you better make sure what's under the hood isn't a very
at least on a fundamental level. Yeah. Luckily, they did fix this, and you can see before and afters. Like, but I'm like, you let it kind of fester a little too long, because that was like one of the final pieces. I think that was like maybe the second or maybe the last patch we got before it ended up going under. But like, I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy that they whiffed on that pretty badly, and then compound that with the netcode. Yeah I know we talked about netcode from like, you know, 2009 2010 or whatever earlier in the show. Might as well have felt the same way, because that's what it felt after a while. Because you said it, 2v2, we're not talking about just a 1v1 if you only played 1v1, which I did. I got no friends, I don't care. But 2v2, now you're talking 4 connections you're dealing with to whatever server, whatever point, however they had it set. And I'm like, and it was just unplayable. Like, it got to points where it was just like, you know, if you're trying to push this and your netcode can't back it on a fundamental level, like, there's a problem. Yeah. So, you know, those kinds of combination of things, and they kind of stated it. They were like, hey, you know, the whole Warner Brothers merger thing was happening in the background. Even though they stated nothing was happening, it was like a little too coincidental that it was like they were having issues around the same time. I'm like, bro, like, you could be real with us, Tony. It's cool. All love to Tony, the game's director and all that. But like, you could have, you know, you could definitely let us know if something really was happening. But yeah, so compounding all of this, you know, kind of set the game to be thrown into luckily not cancellation. So this is one of the big things that I want to give props to with WB and Player First, is that, you know, we're talking about a company, right? WB has been doing all kinds of crazy things over the past like couple years now. Mergers, buying and selling off shit, canceling movies, full-blown done movies, millions in the hole. Like they just said, fuck it, like, burn the money.
Yeah, that Batgirl movie.
We'll never see fucking Brendan Fraser as Firefly. I fucking hate everybody. I love the Mummy. And luckily they didn't do that for this game, because they could have easily just said, nope, boop, don't need it, right? Like, the fact that they gave Player First the ability to kind of pull back and kind of reset, I was like, you know what? Props.
I think they saw the dollars, though. I think they made a lot. I
mean, they're a business. I can't hate them for that.
I think the money was like, oh, I think they would have pulled the plug if the impact wasn't as big as they saw it. Like, if the money wasn't coming, what it did. Yeah, if it didn't blow up the way it did at launch, when it, like, in early access, like, that's when I think they realized, oh no, we actually have something sustainable that can actually just be a constant money flow for us. Okay. Got anything on that, Jai? You feeling? Because I know you've got a couple of statements when it comes to WB, what they've been chasing.
Oh yeah, they've definitely been chasing like a live service game for some time. I mean, actually, you know, Mez is not here, but he had brought up the fact that, you know, Gotham Knights was like a live service game they tried to launch. I totally forgot that game existed.
Yeah.
Gotham Imposters.
Gotham Imposters. Sorry, not Gotham Knights. Yeah, Gotham Imposters. Sorry, not Gotham Knights. I also forgot that
Mikey.
game.
Mikey just remembered. He was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right. That was a game."
Yeah, like, you know, they've been tracing that live service, you know, money. I mean, every publisher wants a live service game that it does just constantly bringing in money. They've been, I mean, for a better part of a decade. First it was League of Legends, then that fire got reignited with Fortnite, you know, and every now and again somebody strikes that iron, you know, and it relights that, oh, we need a live service game, you know, fire. So this could be that game for them, as long as it's developed right, because out of you know, platform fighters are fun. They are fun to play, you know.
Yeah,
there's definitely less pressure to play that than a standard fighting game. So you can get more people, even more casual people, into it. So
yeah. especially with the IP properties that WB has. And you're right, they have, and they've been trying to, and like you said, they've been trying. They tried Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. They're trying to stick all those microtransactions in Mortal Kombat 1, tried to make that a thing. So yeah, they're definitely trying to do something.
For sure. And this might be, this looks like it's their best shot. But hey, you know what? If that still delivers a great game that people can enjoy, it's fun. And clearly this is coming from developers that are passionate, that do care, because they wouldn't be as transparent as they have been about it. Since they've gone down and come up, it's like, hey, look forward to this, like, trust, this is what we're doing. And the fixes that they're implemented, which we're about to get into right now. So, just over the past, I want to say since the start of the year. I think it was the start of the year is when we were starting to kind of see inklings, but I think it was like February or March where the actual, like, the social media page for Multiversus, like, hit us back with like, oh, hey, is this thing on? Kind of showing like, hey, we're live again, or we're active, like something's coming. And they've been just rolling out just update after update, just being transparent, and people are asking questions. And whether it's the social media account for Multiversus, or Tony Hoon, who is the game director, has been like, yeah, this is what we're doing, or answering questions. It's been a good run. Addressing issues. We just talked about netcode. They've from the ground up implemented rollback into it, and have given examples and footage of how it's running, how it works, how it's detecting, all that good stuff. Kind of getting that faith back into the player base that clearly was passionate about the game, or going to EVO, and the fans that were, just to enjoy it, right? Just even for the casual to enjoy, right? So netcode's getting implemented. They've, also shown off what the game looks like a bit more. So it is running in Unreal 5 now. It was on Unreal 4 previously. So now you're seeing some of the characters look a bit more polished. The lighting as well, the lighting render on multiple characters and effects are better. So already much more pleasing to the eye, right? And on top of that, not just the looks, but the characters themselves are also reworked. We've got new moves. We've already got to see, like, Harley has like a brand new move off the rip that they've shown footage of. A couple other characters as well. And balance changes and universal mechanics. Some new mechanics are being implemented. So returning players like myself or Mikey that like can come back and be like, oh, pick up old reliable, whoever they play. Who do you play in this, Mikey?
Oh my God, I don't even remember. I don't remember who I played.
Don't worry, no judgment here.
What? I think I probably just played Wonder Woman. I think, honestly, because she was just very basic and easy to kind of manipulate and control. I think I remember correctly.
You gotta pass on that one. If you would have said Superman, I'd be like,
no, we don't play Superman. We never play. We never play Superman. Never, like, Injustice, no. Injustice 2, no. In this game, no. That guy is just rude. Superman is rude in every game he's in.
Mikey is speaking facts. Like, every game Superman has been in for fighting games, he is like the worst. Like not in a bad way. Like, he is just the worst to deal with. You never want to see him on the other side of your screen. This game included.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You get a pass. So like I said, it's gonna be a fresh take for returning players like ourselves. So the competitive scene is gonna feel great because there's gonna be new tech to get into, new systems to mess around with. So there's already gonna be a fire for that, right? But then I'm still talking like, hey, the casual, right? This is what is building up those numbers. This is what is going to be their bread and butter. Because as much as I always talk about competitive, we are just always the smaller percentage of the entire market that they're going for. We're always the smallest. They do a lot of good things for us, but we are not what's feeding them, the big bucks. It's the casual. They want to aim for that. They want to aim for everyone else. So PvE mode, a new PvE mode rifts have been posted up, and I saw this and this is when I knew. I was like, yo, this game is going to be a dub. The reason for that, the competitive stuff is great. The rollback netcode, awesome. But when they announced rifts and PvE mode, I was like, I got hooked on. The last free-to-play game I got hooked on was Legends of Runeterra. That's the card-based game from Riot, right? It's League of Legends based, and it's competitive because I was like, oh, I've played multiple card games over my life. And it's, hey, it's like fighting games. 1v1, there's moves, back and forth. You do reads, there's a lot of really cool stuff there. So competitively, I'm like, yo, I'm there. But it wasn't even the competitive side because, for one, I didn't have the cards. it's an investment to just go and get whatever's meta, and then you have to buy. I need to buy Gwen, and I gotta buy Zed, I gotta buy Aurelion, so I gotta buy all these characters, right, in order to even be competitively viable as I go up ranking ladder, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't even that. It was the goddamn PvE Path of Champions that hooked me. Like, I was playing Path of Champions like every day. It was just like, I got my dailies, and I get to do like, you know, basically the rules of the game are basically thrown out the window in this mode, because you have modifiers, you can do crazy broken decks, you can literally ignore the rules of the game where, you know, on the competitive side, you're allowed to have 2 regions. It's like Magic, you can have 2 colors or whatever, or a certain amount of colors.
Yeah.
In this game, you're only allowed 2. You go into Path of Champions, you can have literally like 6, all of them in your deck.
That's nice.
And you can just do really broken shit. And I was like, that is fun. And then I was catching myself. I was putting hours in. But then in those hours in, I was able to get cards naturally.
Yeah.
Now I could have built I then would do competitive games. So I'm like, oh, I did get Gwen. I did get my copies of Zed. I just needed 2, or I needed 3. I needed these Yasuos. Cool. I can actually now go and compete. That hooked me on the game faster than having the competitive the competitive mode to it. So for Multiversus to do that, I was like, that is going to be key to capture even a competitive person like me to try your game like that.
Well, and there's just like times where you just don't, like, sometimes you just like want to play your game, but you just don't want to go online and, like, you know, deal with the fact of other people. Like, sometimes you just want to be by yourself and just like play the game you like in a different way.
Maybe you only got an hour. I don't got an hour to sweat. I'm not trying to sweat while I'm waiting for my bus, or my train, or whatever. Like, I was gonna say in traffic, because I'm like, if you're pulling out your phone in traffic, like, don't play your game.
Right. It's just it harkens back to old school fighting games back in like PS2 era, where they would stick in like single player modes, because back in those days there was no online mode, so like the only way to play other people was to find other people like in person. So them adding more ways for people to play outside of just go online and fight is always welcome. It will always expand your audience, as long as you keep updating it or make it, you know, relevant, and that it feeds into the rewards that you're handing out. So exactly.
That, and funny enough, just to kind of finish my Runeterra rant, that went through a competitive change where they were not like supporting the competitive scene as much, and they were focusing on Path of Champions, because guess what? Like 90% of their audience was playing Path of Champions.
Right.
So like, we're gonna invest our time there because people were just finding it fun. They are buying skins. I bought a couple skins to me. Buying skins. They're getting packs, but they're enjoying the game, and it's keeping the game alive, right? It is keeping people interested, and eventually you will still translate.
Right. And you know, sometimes you don't want to go online and be like, all right, let me fight the most meta freaking thing on the planet again and again and again and again and again. I don't want to have to fight the #1 net deck of the world 50 billion times. I'll just go and do my own thing, you know?
Exactly. So this PvE mode, I was like, as soon as they announced it, I was like, yes, which ironically is very close to what I said earlier. It's a mode where you're going to get modifiers, you get to pick a main character, and then they have a buddy to support you, so you can do the 2v2 modes and stuff. So there's going to be like, think like events in Smash.
Yeah.
Right? Remember like the event where they had like the 100, 300 or whatever, and each one would be weird. You might fight Giga Bowser in this, and he's like 3 times bigger or something like that.
Right.
Like similar, like, you know, a much more condensed version of that, but they're going to apply a lot of other cool things because they have all these modifiers in the game naturally. I'm like, dude, that's going to be sick. I mean, now you're talking times where you're going to be playing different things when you log in.
Yeah. If they want to copy the spirit crap from Smash, go off, like take it. It worked for Smash Bros. Like take it and run. Like it worked for them, why not?
So Rift being announced, I was like, that's a dub. That's the dub. You got me now. Like I was already kind of there, but I was like, I'm even more interested in fucking around with that, because that's gonna be fun. Because I actually just like how the game feels. Yeah. I like the speed. Hopefully the speed stays the same. We've kind of been looking at footage and it looks like it's a little slower. Hopefully they did it and we're just really fucking it up.
I'd love to be wrong.
I want to be, please. I'll gladly take the L. I'll gladly take the L. Please let it be the same speed.
It looks slower. It looks slower.
Shut up, Mikey.
Okay, sorry.
Don't manifest that shit. But so the big thing, I know we talked, we're talking battle pass, we're talking investment and progress, right? That people made, including myself, you know, people here that played the game before the game went down. What happens to that? I put money in to get maybe this skin. I definitely did get the Harley skin. I'm pretty sure I did. I did.
Yeah, I bought the Founders Pack, so I'm like,
I got the Founders Pack. That's what it was. I got the Founders Pack as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what the hell happens for that, right? Well, they've luckily also confirmed that prior progress, skins, and investment before being taken offline. Because remember, you could play the game right now. I have it still on my Steam. Like if you still have it on your Steam, you could just boot it up. It'll just be an offline. But everything you've gotten before the servers were taken down will come with you when the game goes right back up.
Good.
I was like, good.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't do that, people were about to riot. Like we were actually going to get problems.
If I don't get to keep my Garnet skin that I unlocked, like that's not cool, man. That's not cool.
Exactly,
I need that stuff.
Exactly.
Like you can't charge me, but like be like, haha, you only paid to have it for this window. No, that's not okay.
And there are fans out there. They're gonna be pissed if they don't have their Garnet skins.
Yeah,
they will riot. So I was like, that was great. That was another dub for the player and honestly just for the consumer. Like you had to. Like, I still want to give them props because they could have easily gotten pressure and said like, no. I'm like, that's technically robbery, like literally robbery. Like I paid for something and then I'm like, you took it away. I was supposed to have it on my account, but no, they're like, no, you get everything. I'm like, sweet, cool, dub. But yeah, so these are all things that we've seen them just post up and actually just show that what they've been working on, what they've been addressing, and being transparent about, which honestly, for me at this point, like I got faith that it's going to be a great return to form and better, to be honest, when it does drop. The question actually I want to ask you guys, actually the listeners out there, is going to be the question of the week for this week, which is like, do you guys believe Multiversus is going to recapture what it had? Is it going to do the same? Do you think it's going to do even better in terms, it could be in numbers, it could just, in general consensus when it comes back? Do you think all the work that they put in, they would like to hope they did, but we want to hear from you guys if you think Multiversus will recapture what it had last year. Let us know. Make sure to we'll have this posted up on our Twitter. We'll have this posted up on Discord, Spotify, all over the place, YouTube, community posts, all that good stuff. So make sure to let us know. We want to hear from you guys on your thoughts and who I'm going to see out there. Who am I going to see out when I'm playing as well? Because I'm definitely going to be rocking it when it does drop. Going to try out all those modes and all. All right, so Granblue, we have the final character for DLC. This, you thought Akuma was going to be the only DLC character we're going to talk about. You're wrong. We've got finally Beatrix. The actual gameplay trailer dropped from Cygames. I think this was not a couple days ago. Oh, actually, yeah, it was only like 4 days ago. We actually got to see the gameplay on Beatrix. Actually got posted up on the Cygames on YouTube and on Twitter. I honestly had no idea how this character was going to play. But we got a quick breakdown, as we had with the previous characters, on her movesets, what she's gonna bring to the table. Mikey, what are you seeing? What do you like about the gameplay? Because I'm gonna save mine for afterwards.
The one thing that I thought was like super interesting is the time bullshit that she has. Mm-hmm. It looks like it's kind of cool. I'm curious what combos are going to be allotted for her, like because of that. Like what sauce does she have compared to the rest of the cast? I really don't know much about Beatrix though. I'm not super into Granblue. The only Granblue thing I played through Relink or whatever.
Oh, Relink. Yeah.
But outside of that cast of characters, I know absolutely nothing about Granblue Fantasy.
First of all, Granblue's got mad characters, so don't worry, it's fine. No one here is claiming to be an expert, but I know what I'm an expert on, and it's Guilty Gear characters. And what I'm seeing right fucking now is literally Sol Badguy. There's like nothing else I can say. Yeah. This character is literally Sol Badguy. Yeah. Like you might go like, Crash, you're tripping. No, let me just school you real quick. All right. So in the trailer itself, we get obviously to see all her movesets. We get some of the go-to ones, right? We got a fireball. Okay, that's fine. It's not even a grounded fireball. I'll even give you a pass. It's not a gun flame. But she's got a DP. Once again, you might be like, hey, plenty of people got DPs in this game. That doesn't make them Sol. You're also correct. Now, I'm gonna shut you up real fast because everything else after that is clearly Sol. So off the rip, we've got at literally 26 seconds in, 5S, which is standing slash. I know a Sol 5S when I see it. Yeah. I've been hit by it enough times, and I've had counter slow-mo it enough time that it's like engraved in the back of my fucking eyelids that I'll see it in my sleep. She has his 5S. Not only does she have his 5S, she has her not volcanic viper. That's the we just talked about this right before. Vortex. She has Vortex, a low profile move that dashes her across and shoots you up. Boys and girls, does that sound familiar? Not convinced? Bet I got more for you. Not only do we have Vortex, but we also have Bandit Bringer. Like, she literally has Bandit Bringer going up and coming back down. It's all there. That's at like what is that? 38 seconds. I'm gonna drop you all the time codes so that way you guys can check it. She's got that. She's got, I think what was the last thing that we're missing here? I think actually that was all of them. Besides the time thing is, you know what? To add to your time thing, that's basically BRC.
Yeah,
we're seeing blue RC Roman cancel effect where she's slowing down.
Yeah,
it's happening after her Vortex move. Yeah, where like they kind of get like slowed, and now you can kind of like combo into it.
I'm gonna be honest. When you first told me this, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, it's Sol. And then when you were like, when we saw like 5S, I was like, oh she is straight up Sol.
I've been traumatized to know. I know Sol Badguy when I see her.
Yeah,
you might as well just put Sol in this game.
I wonder how much damage she does though.
Yeah,
like that's
you know what? That's the missing key. If she pumps out damage, I'm like, you just gave us Sol with titties. Time and titties is what this character is. That's all it is. Like, I can't, but you know what? It's fine. Like, it's not the first time because, what is it? Zoe literally has Sol's like jump dust. Like, you know, like just like, yeah, I can't do it here. You ain't seen me in frame, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
She literally has dust loops in the corner with Zoe. That was like a call out, but once again, this was done in part with obviously Arc System Works with Cygames, so it's natural. But I mean, this is actually kind of like the most blatant character so far. That's just like literally like copy my homework, but change it up so the teacher don't notice.
Yeah.
Thought we didn't notice. I seen it. Yeah. I seen it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that means guess what? Good news. She's probably gonna be viable because these are really, really strong tools that she's gonna have in her arsenal in a very oppressive game. And I think the time effect that she has is gonna be fun too.
Yeah, I think it's funny that the first two DLC characters for this game were like complicated, weirdo characters, like with 2B and the other one.
Yeah.
And now like both Vayne and this one look very simpler, like easier to pilot, like but can still do some stuff. Like
Yep. Then throw them into the system mechanics and then whatever little extra things they have, and now they might have, you know, there's some depth in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Beatrix is gonna be coming out on the 23rd, so it's actually gonna be this Thursday. So not gonna be too long before she comes out. So she is included in the season pass, or you can actually, you know, get her for the DLC price of $7.99. So Sol $7.99. Get it while it's hot right now. So yeah, so Beatrix once again, Sol, cool, Lady Sol in the game. You can't lose. You can't lose. I think she's gonna be viable. It's gonna be fun seeing what players are gonna pick her up and actually just wreck house with her. All right. So with that, I mean, hey, I think that's gonna be it for this episode of Double Tap. We've gotten through a lot. Combo Breaker once again, right around the corner. Make sure to go say hi to Static Gorilla. He's on his way. If you do see him out there, go take a picture. Oh, this is what I meant to bring up. $10. I will Venmo anybody $10 if they can like Raging Demon Static Gorilla and show me footage. Whoever does it the first time, I will Venmo whoever $10 if they Raging Demon Static. And they're gonna have an Akuma casual event going on that Thursday. So if he's there, sit his ass down. And if you get the footage, you can give me with the 2009, you know, camera, cell phone, homie doing it. I'll accept that.
Does it have to KO?
If you do it,
does it have to?
No, it doesn't have to KO. Just do it. Just do it.
Okay.
I just want him to eat it. Like, I want to see who gave him his first one. That's all. I just want to be there. I want to like see it myself. $10. The bounty is out there. It's only good till Combo Breaker. All right. But yeah, that is gonna be it for this episode, guys. We do appreciate you guys hanging out for another episode of Double Tap. Thank you, Mikey, for being here. I can't say it enough. I appreciate Mikey coming back and hanging out with us. Mikey, where can they find the people? Where's your social media? What are your tags?
You can't. I'm off social media. Like I just I vanished. Like
wow.
I couldn't.
Okay, well, you know what?
I can't deal with what was happening with Twitter. I had to bounce. So.
Okay, well, you can't find Mikey, but if you do happen to find Mikey, don't approach Mikey. You'll get weird. So we do just want to say thank you again for hanging out, Mikey, and being on the show.
No problem.
You can find Ja. You can still find Ja on social media at Jostradamus on Blue Sky and I said it right. Yeah, Blue Sky and Twitter.
He said it. He's been saying Blue Stacks recently. So,
Blue Stacks?
Yeah,
Blue Stacks, Blue Jeans. Well, yeah, I can't get it. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But yeah, Jostradamus, you can go check him out. You might say his tweets aren't interesting, but he's still got. There's some gold in there too.
Yeah, they're called skeets.
We'll say otherwise, but there's gold.
They're called skeets.
They're called skeets, from what I hear.
No. Oh my! They're called skeets.
Yeah, they're called skeets.
No,
and
they're skeeting all over the place.
How have I not heard? How have I not heard about this? Skeets. You guys can, of course, even though our awesome other hosts aren't here right now, make sure to check out Meza at Meza FGC on all social media, and of course Static Gorilla at Static Gorilla. Once again, go check them out at Combo Breaker. $10 up for grabs for you guys. You guys can check me out at #VS on social media, and as well, make sure to follow us at DoubleTapFGC on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Insta, on everything, YouTube. We're all over the place. Come check us out. And if you want to get involved, of course, with things like our community, our question of the week, our polls, we post them up on all those sites as well, all those platforms, as well as on our Discord, doubletap.gg/Discord. Come check us out there. Come check out our awesome community. Come say what's up. Let us know your stories. Once again, our question of the week this week, if you think Multiversus is going to come back to what it was in prominence last year, you think they fixed it up, let us know. Join us on Discord once again, or let us know on Spotify, Twitter, all over the place. You guys can also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube. We do post up shorts and such there. Subscribing helps know when the new episode also goes up and goes live. Get a notification, all that good stuff. And once again, we do post up in the community post with our questions. You guys can contact us or let us know, comments, all that stuff in whatever your favorite podcast platform of choice, as well as reviewing and rating the show helps a whole lot. Lets us know what we're doing right, so we can keep on doing it right. And what we're doing wrong, we can go back to the training room, get working on that matchup and come back much stronger. We appreciate everyone that also shares the show, likes, retweets on Reddit, all that good stuff. It does help get it to more people. We do appreciate everyone that has done it and everyone that will do it in the future. That's gonna be it for this week, guys. And for those that are going to Combo Breaker, enjoy yourselves, have fun. For those that are gonna stay home and chill, also have fun. We'll be live next week with a new episode to cover everything that happens at Combo Breaker, as well as Akuma, as well as Multiverse. It's gonna be a good one. Make sure to stay tuned. Check us out on the next week's episode. Stay tuned after the show to hear about our other shows here on the MTV network. But until then, I've been Crash. That's been Ja. That's been Mikey. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.